In our previous video, we have seen that how VS2010 helps us to minimize our deployment issues by providing the one-click deployment screen and by creating packages. Now there's one more issue which we face as a part of deployment, and that is a Web.config file versioning. Normally when we talk about Web.config file, it has connection strings, it has values, configuration values which your application needs. And depending on environment, in other words, depending, it's a development environment, or it's a go live environment, or staging environment, the Web.config file values can change. Now this thing can be quite confusing in case you have large number of environments, or if you have many environments where you want to deploy Web.config files with different values. Now in order to minimize these issues, there's one more feature which is provided by VS2010 and ASP.NET 4.0, which is called as the Web.config transformation. By using Web.config transformation, what you can do is that you can create a default Web.config file with some default values, and later on you can create new Web.config files from the default Web.config, and you can override, or you can add, or you can include new values as per your environment. So by doing this, what you can do is basically you can have different Web.config files with some base values, and then you can override as per your environment. So let's try to see a demo of this, and let's try to understand that how this new feature Web.config transformation can help us to minimize our Web.config versioning issues. Now let's consider a simple project over here called as Web.config transformation, which has a Web.config file. And in this Web.config file, we have a connection string called as my database, which currently connects to my development database.mdf. Now what I want is basically I would like to create different kinds of Web.config file, like my acceptance test Web.config file, my production config file, my debug config file, my release config file, etc. with different connection strings and with different connection values, so that I can take this Web.config file and I can deploy those Web.config files on the appropriate environment. So in order to add different config files or different kind of config files for different environments, what you need to do is basically you need to go build configuration manager, and then you can click on new of the active solution configuration to add up a new configuration file to your solution explorer or to your application. Now you can see that I have already added a lot of configuration files over here, like the go live, my test, production, etc, etc. Right, so what we'll do is now we'll go to our solution explorer here. Now in order to basically get those configuration in your solution, what you need to do is you need to right click on your Web.config file and you need to click on add config transforms. Now as soon as you click on add config transforms, what it does is it actually creates all of those necessary files over here, which are basically nothing but those are like kind of child files which belong to the main Web.config file. Now what we'll do is, as we have said, that basically we are going to change this my database value for one of our configuration files. So currently here the my database value is my development database. Let's make this value as my production in the web.production.config file. So over here in the web.production.config file, I would like to see this value of my database as my production database. Now in order to change your current web.config file, or I'll say your default web.config file, to your environment config files values, it's a two-step process. The first step is basically you have to search the web.config file with the appropriate element, right? So you have to locate that element, and once you've got the element, you need to basically go and set the values. That means you need to transform the values. Now you can see that there are various functionalities provided by the Web.config transformation engine, which can help you to search and transform your Web.config file elements and values. Now in order to achieve our goal, right, where we said that we have a connection string in our parent Web.config file, and if we want to change that connection string value to something else, what we'll do is we'll use the match function from the search and locate. So we will use the match function to get the name of the element where the connection string is stored, and then we will use the set attributes to change the value. So let's go back to the code and let's see how it is done. Now here's your parent Web.config file, or I'll say your default Web.config file, which has this connection string with my database, and it has the database value set as my development database.mdf. Now in order to replace this in our web.production.config, let's say that we want to replace the database name in the web.production.config, what we have to do is that we have to basically go and keep the same name as it is. So basically it's going to be my database, and as we said that the first thing is we have to locate it. So what we are saying over here is that please use the match name. In other words, use this name to locate the element. So what this XGT locator will do is basically it will invoke the match function, right? And basically this match function will basically go and take this my database name and it will pull out the value from the parent config file, right? Now the other one is a transform. So basically we are using set attributes over here. Now the set attribute says that basically please go and set the element which you have located, right, that is my database, to this value. And if you can see this value, basically I have changed the value over here to my production.mdf. So in other words, what has happened now is I have two configuration files. One is the web.config file which has the connection string which points towards my development database, right? And then I have web.production.config file which is basically created for the production environment and which points towards the my production.mdf. Now so let's go and save this and let's build this application. So now let's say that we want to basically deploy to the production environment. So what you need to do is basically go to your build configuration manager and ensure that your active solution configuration is production at this moment. And then let's test this by doing a publish. So let me just publish this. Let me publish this in our file system. Let me just select E drive and let's say my test publish, right? So, right, and let me go and publish this. Now what should happen is over here when I publish this, I should see that the web.config file should be having the my production.mdf file. So let me just go and open this web.config file in a notepad. Just do that and you can see that over here this web.config has my production.mdf. So in other words, this deployment which I have created now, or this deployment solution which I have created, it's currently having the my production.mdf. Now if I go and basically just say let's go and change this configuration manager, let's make it debug, right? Now if I go and publish it, so build publish, right, publish started, publish succeeded. Let's go again to the directory. Now I should see over there my development MDF. So let me just open this in a notepad and you can see that basically the value is my development database.mdf. So by using the proper locator and by using the proper transformation, you can manage your web.config files as per your environment and as per your versions. So I hope that this session was useful. I do know that there are a lot of other settings, in other words there are a lot of other features or functions, I'll say rather, which are there in the web.config transformation, like match, condition, replace, etc. But I have not covered them because my whole point about this video is to cover the basics, what you need for the web.config transformation. And those features, those functions over there are pretty simple. It's the way I have explained match, the same holds true for condition, XPath. The way I have explained set attributes to basically do the transformation, the same holds true for remove and insert. In case you have any doubts while doing those functionalities, you can always mail at questpond@questpond.com and I can help you out in that. So I hope that this session was useful. Basically what we did is we started first with with the first video where we talked about the three important features which are provided by BS2010. The first one is your one-click deployment and the packaging, and the next one is your web.config transformation, which helps you to maintain different versions of web.config file as per your environment. So I hope that this session was useful, and we'll be continuing this new technology session of BS2010 and .NET 4.0 in the coming times. Thanks a lot.